Welcome to the Daily Telegraph NRL Podcast. I'm Michael Carayannis and now semi-regular Phil Rothfield.
Yes, clever.
And we're here with Brent Reid.
Mate, I had bronchial pneumonia and I missed 2 episodes. But you'd been in hospital. Give me a break. Semi-regular.
You did go to hospital, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I went and got chest x-ray.
Oh, sorry, okay.
You alright, Buzzy boy? We had there was lots of concern for your welfare.
Was it?
You were bagging him.
Yeah.
You said you weren't worried about him at all. You said you wanted his column.
No, we already had that.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
I just kept riding. I just couldn't talk.
Soldiered on.
You're a machine, mate.
A bit like Sattler grand final, boys.
Like Sam Burgess.
Sam Burgess,
with his fractured eye socket.
That'll never ever happen again, Rudy, because they're HIA.
No, nor should it.
What about you, Rudy? You good?
Ban the kickoff. Anyway, I'm not too bad. I'm good, mate, yeah.
Survived 360, no attacks on you
this week. You were good last night on the James
Well, he broke the story, mate. He broke the story. You're all over it. Well done.
Thanks, boys.
Like a bad rash all over it.
We'll touch on that. James Fisher-Harris, I'm sure everyone was surprised by it yesterday when you started filtering through yesterday morning. I was definitely shocked. What was your first reaction, Buzzer?
What about Kenty wanting to go to the integrity? Look, I want to actually applaud Penrith because this guy's been the foundation of their 3 premiership titles. He's been there a very long period of time.
Yep.
And if he wants to go home for family or compassionate grounds, that it's so hard for Penrith to lose all these players, but I applaud Ivan Cleary, I applaud Matt Cameron and Brian Fletcher for not standing in his way. And look, they're a giant of a club, and they'll find the right replacement. It might be the young fella from the West Tigers. I think Michael O'Loughlin's already spoken to the West. Daniel O'Loughlin, has already spoken to Penrith. But look, I think it shows there's a nice side to Penrith that, he's not going for the money. I'm sure he's being well looked after.
We'll average out to be about $1 million, a little bit less than $1 million a year. I think it's not near that amount next year, and then it goes up after that. So, but just on Penrith, before we touch on the Warriors side, Reedy, what's your first reaction of what it means for Penrith? We know all the players they've lost. We don't have to list them all, but what does this mean for Penrith?
Well, it's a big hole they've got to fill, because Buzz is right. He's been one of the foundations. I wouldn't say he's been the foundation, but I think he's been one of the foundations of that success over the years. So it's a huge hole for them to fill. They've got a lot of kids coming through. They've had a lot of kids coming through the system there in recent years when they've lost players, but I'm not sure they've. You know this, Mick. They've extended out a young fella who they've got high hopes for, but Fisher-Harris is just.
Who's the young fella, mate?
Oh, it's Mick.
Yeah, sorry,
you put us on the spot there.
Laurent Patea.
There we go.
He's a New South Wales under 19s prop that they've put on a long-term deal. Take a while to mature, right? It's the thing with Penrith, which is going to throw the player market into a frenzy. It's the first time I can remember for how long they will go into the marketplace, whether it's for a half, whether it's for a back rower and they shift Liam Martin, or whether it's for a genuine prop. They will hit the marketplace for the first time since they signed, Coruscant, right? But even Coruscant, at the time when they signed him, he wasn't at the level he was when he left the club. Kurt Capewell wasn't at the level. So they haven't dipped into the market for years now because they haven't needed to find a marquee player. But what it does do as well, we know there's not a lot of players off contract, right? Yep. But if you're a player that's unhappy at your club, or looking over your shoulder, and you think that you could land at Penrith, that becomes a prime destination. Because at the moment, the clubs with money are the Dragons, the Bulldogs, the clubs that are going to take some work. But if you can be parachuted into Penrith, which is such an awesome club, still on the still going to be a premiership force for the next few years, I think that throws the player market into a potential frenzy.
It might also have ramifications for a guy like Taruva, who's out there on the market.
I think it'll have minimal ramifications because they're not going to go and jump their offer by 100k because they've lost Fisher-Harris. Maybe it might be enough to keep him, right?
I'll tell you the guy I'd love to see him sign, and they'd still have change afterwards, Josh Schuster. I reckon Josh Schuster out there.
I don't think he's a Penrith
in the right
player,
system.
Mate.
He's a Western Suburbs kid.
I don't think they're related, right?
No, I don't think they're related either.
But
What I'm saying is,
they've lost the front row.
I know that. What I'm saying is,
you want
he's a
to
little
sign a 5'8" edge forward.
Well, he's an edge forward. He's not a 5'8".
Yeah.
And you're going to get him at a bargain rate. And I think in that system out there, he can flourish. He's not a 5'8", Buzz. He's not a 5'8".
Yeah,
I think we all know he's not a 5'8".
He's not an edge forward either in the condition he's in at the moment.
No, but maybe out there they'll get him in a condition.
To say put a Josh Schuster in to replace James Fisher.
I'm not saying to replace him. He's not a direct replacement. Look, I mean, Stefano's the guy they're obviously after. What I'm saying is, I'd like to. Can you let me finish? What I'm saying is, I'd like to see them use some of that money to sign Josh Schuster, because I think Josh Schuster could flourish out there. Anyway, that's all. I'm not saying he's direct replacement.
Yeah, we're talking James Fisher Harris, and you said you want to see him sign, you goose. They let you get away with this stuff on Triple M, just sidetrack onto ridiculous ideas.
Every now and then.
Yeah, right.
They break you to rein you in.
Yeah.
Bryce
very good on that show.
That's 360. You said Triple M.
Well, both.
Okay. Yeah. Don't mix yourself up there.
The thing that they can do as well potentially is move Liam Martin into the middle as well. If they needed to go find an edge back row.
But not a front row, mate. He's the best edge forward outside Billy Kickow on the comp.
Lindsay Smith's a good player. They've got people coming through the system.
None of them are fit. Fisher Harris is the number one prop in Australia.
How many?
And New Zealand.
I'd say he's on the podium. I'd say Payne Haas and Furner Blake are in the mix too.
Payne Haas is not.
You serious?
No, not. I don't agree that he's. Okay. I think Fisher Harris is clearly a better front rower.
No, particularly not clearly. I'm happy for you to. How many
Origins has Payne Haas won last couple of years? How many premierships?
Is he clearly a better front rower than Adam Furner Blake?
I wouldn't.
I'd say it's an equal swap.
I reckon those two, Furner Blake, right, Fisher Harris, and Tino. My treble.
Tino and Payne Haas. Well. And then, I'm happy for you to argue, but you can't say they're clearly.
And then I'd go Lindsay Collins and Payne Haas.
No, I've got Payne Haas in my top echelon of props, no doubt.
I've got him in the top 5.
Yeah, but you said I can't have a clear distance. But anyway, for what it does do as well, because the Warriors were always in the market for a middle, right? But this touches on my point before, the fact that it is now the Panthers who are in the market for a player, I think it makes a difference, because Penrith are obviously an easier sell for players in Sydney to go to. If
Stefano doesn't go there, he's mad.
Well, he's got to be able to go there first. He does have a potential.
They're not going to make the 8.
They're not going
to make the 8.
He could play. He could play 2 Origin games.
New South Wales front rowers.
He's got an Origin. Well, Payne Haas, the man you don't rate.
I do.
You don't rate, clearly.
See, this is where you're bitter, twisted, and stupid. And I would probably put stupid up front of everything.
Buzz has come off fresh after a bit of a layoff.
And I'm going enormous too.
Can you sustain it for 80 minutes?
Well, Payne Haas,
got to walk into the
Paulo at Parramatta, Campbell Gillard.
Again, those blokes are on the periphery.
I
wouldn't say they're low down Mazziers.
That might be the clause that undoes
Jacob Safidi, but then Stefano.
Stefano's so superior to Jacob.
Well, but that's what we're saying. He could play 2 Origin.
So you agree with me?
And it helps that Victor Radley doesn't play either, because he's
and then you got Jake Turbo as well, where he slots in.
But you got Cameron Murray and you got Isaiah Yeo. Cameron Murray can play middle edge.
He's
borderline.
Yeah, he's not a walk-up star.
I
think that Tigers aren't going to make the top. He's got more of a chance of playing 2 Origin.
That's what I said. I've just said that, Michael. Yeah, I know you're under pressure as a host.
No, you were arguing the two
Adam was very good when Adam was here of listening to others while trying to move it along.
We're trying to educate you on the fact that Stefano could play Origin this year.
I said that, you goose.
Did he?
No, not really. No. Listen, if they can't get Stefano, I'd like to see Josh Schuster.
I think they could do both.
Can I say something? Yeah. I can exclusively reveal to my audience today,
your audience,
why you two are out of sorts. Seriously.
What do you have for us?
It's radio ratings day.
Well, I might be out of sorts. We're flying.
You haven't seen the numbers.
I saw the numbers before.
Well, that's got nothing to do with
flying during the week.
Up significantly.
On the weekend.
They still do cricket, Triple M.
Sunday's sin bin's flying, but
Sunday's killing it too. Saturday scrum.
And
not when Chamis is on.
You're worried about the ABC. You're coming off a very low base. There's only one way you can
He's on SEN as well.
And SEN.
Speaking of low bases.
Geez, you could combine SEN and ABC.
No, they do a good job.
We're not.
He does a good job.
We go back and forth on Saturdays. We go back and forth on Saturdays, Buzz. I think you'd find.
I've held my audience on Sundays and Mondays on Big Sports Breakfast. Even though Clark is never around.
Sure Big Sports.
Can I say, there's been a lot of talk that Fisher Harris will suddenly the Warriors will next year will be even better.
Yeah, let's get to the Warriors, right?
He's a dead set replacement for Adam Fanua-Blake.
Yep.
I think it's an even replacement. Sean Johnson's the key for them next year. If Sean Johnson goes, then I actually think they go backwards. Well, because who plays in the halves for them?
Well, Reed, you're 100% right. You can argue who's better. Adam Fanua-Blake, James Fisher-Harris, take your pick, right?
Yeah.
But Fisher-Harris is a key signing for him, obviously. And when they were going through their list of potential replacements for Adam Fanua-Blake, Fisher-Harris was on that list. Yeah. But you look at where the Warriors, the only uncertainty around the Warriors is the halves.
Yeah.
Okay. Sean Johnson is off contract. He has to go around again. Right,
here's a terrific story, Sean Johnson. In that, I thought he was done at Cronulla 3 years ago.
Wrote him off.
I watched him every single week, and I don't know if he was homesick. I don't know if it was a COVID delay from living here and just My goodness.
Well, he was about to get dropped in his year back for the Warriors.
And mate, he was so close to winning that Dally medal last year. And his form this year.
Yeah.
But he'll be 34 at the end of this year.
I think he just rolls around. I think he just rolls around another 12 months. But you're right, Reedy. He's not locked in.
His body looks good. He's in shape.
Luke Metcalf, who was looking good, is injured again.
Yeah, and has injury problems.
So that's the one uncertainty around. And they've got Chanel Harris-Tavita and Tomato Martin. So they do have options there. But if you had to pick apart the Warriors squad, that would be their only potential weakness.
Jeez, that guy can coach.
Webster. He's a ripper, isn't he, Andrew Webster? Yeah.
Look at the development of some of their football players. Look at Wade Egan, the hooker.
The most, I think I said on 360 last night, the most improved player in the last 24 months in the NRL, Wade Egan.
Yeah.
He went from average hooker to...
But Nickel Clockstad struggled at the back end.
He was a good player.
His last year at Canberra,
he was a good player.
Right?
Yeah.
Look at how seamlessly Roger Tuivasa-Sheck has...
Good player though.
Mitch Barnett's now in Origin calculations.
Yeah. Actually, he's a guy...
Mitch Barnett, we missed him before. Mitch Barnett.
He was a good player in Newcastle, Mitch Barnett.
Yeah.
Jackson Ford, was he unwanted at St George?
He was, found a home there. No, they've been sensational, the Warriors, and I think they're destined for a top 4 side this year. And they're building
the next Supercoach.
Are they 3-3 this year, the Warriors?
You look at
they got a little bit unlucky early, weren't they? They lost a couple of close games. Cronulla beat them round.
Cronulla beat them round 1, yeah.
They should have won.
You look at speaking to people in the Warriors over the last 24 hours, and they said that the Fanua-Blake signing, the Fisher-Harris signing, will have potentially a flow-on effect. So Fisher-Harris has this desire to go home as the Kiwi Test captain and represent the Warriors to make him a premiership force, right? And that flow-on effect that we saw a couple of years ago from Jason Tamalolo and Andrew Fafita to represent Tonga, and we saw that transition in the international front. There's a belief in the Warriors at the moment that might be replicated on a domestic front, where the best Kiwi players might want to go back and play for the Warriors.
Cool. Now I'm just going to interrupt. This is my 49th year of journalism in rugby league at News Corp.
Gosh.
Just because you broke the Fisher-Harris story doesn't mean we have to spend the whole podcast.
Well, we were just talking about the Warriors. We haven't had a chance to talk about the Warriors.
Well, we've done them.
Oh, you're done with the Warriors?
Adam would have rolled us on.
All right.
We have other listeners outside of Penrith and New Zealand, Michael.
We're global.
And I'm talking from experience.
Tigers. It's got implications for the Tigers too.
I don't think we talk a lot about enough about the Warriors, but let's move on to the South.
Our Brisbane fans will be happy you wrote off Payne Haas, so that'll inspire him for the rest of the year.
I didn't write him off.
Okay. Let's press on.
You wanted to say he was as good as Fisher-Harris, and he's not.
Okay, let's press on.
You're not. You're a guest.
I've got my own podcast on Mondays, which apparently the ratings are through the roof.
Are they?
No.
South, you had this news earlier this week. Reedy, around David Furner returning to the club. What does that mean for Jason Demetrio? What does Dave Furner bring? Dave
Furner's last job was at the West Tigers. How did he go there?
Flying.
But Dave Furner's job before that was at the Canterbury Bulldogs under Trent Barrett.
Yeah.
I'm opening the debate with those observations.
I think Buzzy's brought more in to be a sounding board for JD, to give him some experience on his coaching staff, because I think that's been a criticism. He's a bloke he can trust. You know, they know each other from the Cowboys. They worked together at the Cowboys a long time ago. They spoke pre-Christmas at that point.
He had a very bitter departure from the West Tigers,
well, he did.
as you are aware.
Well, he got stiffed a bit there,
and he had a very bitter departure from the Canterbury Bulldogs, basically not on speaking terms with Trent Barrett. And I don't want to sit here and argue all day with you.
What are you saying? It's going to go pear-shaped at the
I don't think he's the saviour that you want to try to make him out.
I haven't made him out to be a saviour.
You're saying he's a great sounding board.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean JD will save his job. He needs to win footy games. Dave may help him win footy games. If he doesn't help him win footy games, he might help him at least have some comfort in his position. And it's shown that the club's supporting JD as well, because they've given him the opportunity to go out and sign or bring in.
You know as well as I do, JD's stuffed if he gets slapped by Penrith and Melbourne.
Yeah, probably.
Penrith.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, so I was a little bit surprised, to be honest.
Why?
Is it a vote of no confidence in Ben Hornby?
No, I think it's
think so?
No, I don't think so. I just think it's an experienced voice that's probably
been around the game a long
potentially
time.
needed.
Yeah.
There, he's not going to change anything. He's not going to be able.
He might help him a little bit with their forwards.
You know,
he's working with the forwards. He's a pretty experienced forward in his day. Dave Furner. He's been around the game, as I said, a long time.
He has been around a long time, but I'm just looking at his prior history with those two clubs I mentioned, and both were bottom rung.
He had some success as well, Buzz.
Where at?
Cowboys.
Cowboys? Was he there when they were successful?
South. He had success at South. They made a prelim. You know, he's had some success. Kangaroos, good call.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're a bit harsh, Buzz.
No, I'm not being harsh. I'm looking at recent history.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, I think it'd be good for him. I think it'd be good for Jason.
You know what? This is
Jason needs help. Demetrio needs help. Do we acknowledge that?
He does need help.
Okay, so he's kind of got a bloke who can help him.
And to be fair, like
you know what? This is a bit more media training for you two. If the three of us sit here and nod and agree, we'll put my listeners to sleep.
Okay.
All right.
We will.
So being a devil's advocate.
I think you might.
No,
just
it's like an old school debate.
Okay.
All right. Well, speaking of putting people to sleep, Des v Manly this week. It's obviously gone under the radar a little bit because of everything else that's gone on. But we're running a two-part series online right now, and in today's paper is part one. Reedy, what is, Des and the relationship between Des and Manly? It's been a breaking point before, but this is probably the worst it's ever been. Yeah,
because it's heading to the courts, Mick. I mean, they tried mediation to resolve the spat, and that's basically fallen by the wayside. And next step's court. And
I don't like this.
What don't you like about it?
I don't like that Des left Canterbury, his previous club, threatened legal action and wanted $1 million to disappear. It was $1 million he hadn't earned.
Yeah.
And the same with Manly. Exactly the same situation as his previous club. And what I'm trying to say is Des didn't really lose out the amount of money that he's claiming now. No. He walked straight into another job at the Titans.
Well, no, he had a year off. He had a year off.
I think you'll find he got paid though.
Well, they offered him. They offered him a payment of more than half a million, just over $500,000.
And I think that's fair.
Well, they offered him $500,000 severance package, and his.
I don't dispute that.
They lose their last 8 games.
Well, I don't think anyone's against what you're saying, Buzz. Here, we're with you.
Des is the one who's against what you're saying, because Des wants over $1 million. Des wants $1 million.
I like the Demetrio clause, 9 months pay.
Yeah, well, he had a 6 month. He had a 6 month pay clause.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
and
what's he going to court for?
Or over the fact that there was triggers in the contract that would have enabled him to retain that coaching position, and I think the argument is that the rainbow jersey fiasco hampered that opportunity.
Mate. I don't like the fact these last 2 clubs he's landed in court with.
I don't like the fact, Buzz, he's at a club now that hasn't won a game through 6 rounds. and he's still
100%.
battling his former club in court. I don't know what message that sends to your current club and your playing group that you've got this. And Des might say it's not a distraction, and maybe it isn't, but it's still there.
It's definitely not a distraction to the players, but whether or not
to him,
whether or not he's thinking about it.
I agree with that. I think it's a bad look.
It's just unnecessary because he's been offered, and I believe
about 600.
It's about 600, but I believe he's been off. I'm told he's been offered a little bit more than that to try and settle it, and they haven't agreed on it. So,
did you enjoy the Des v Ricky stink, Buzz?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I think Ricky Stewart's the best conference in rugby league. He really is, and I think a lot of people turn off once the games are over, but it's must viewing.
Yeah,
it's theatre. It's madness.
My favourite Ricky's press conference is when he's trying not to.
Yeah.
He didn't want to, but then he did. Like he was trying to.
Can't help himself.
He was trying to be contained, and then went bang. It was great. I think it's great theatre for the game.
He adds a lot of spice to what a otherwise boring press conference.
So does Des in a different way, though, right? He's not as volatile, Des. He tries to be more the mental agitator.
Yeah.
It was good.
Backfired on him. Well, it sort of backfired on him the other night, didn't it? Because Ricky ripped him. Ricky ripped him.
But they spoke on the phone the next day and they had a laugh about it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's perfect. That's even better. So that's good.
So we should have more of that, I think.
For sure.
Just ripping into each other.
Well, we saw Trent Robinson rip
day.
into people yesterday.
What about that? That was a bit over the top, I thought, from Robbo. It was a bit. I wouldn't say it was a silly question. He just phrased it.
Robbo has disappointed me lately. He has. I tell you why. This Michael Jennings story. I think his comments last week were inappropriate. I really do. And he basically said up yours to the NRL, who took a very strong stance for women in rugby league by not honouring that man's 300th game. Found guilty by 4 judges, 3 appeal judges and the original judge, of sexually assaulting his... And I don't want to keep going dirty like that. I just don't think... I think Robbo was out of order a bit. I really do.
Well, you can tell he's not...
What do you think?
Well, I wrote about it. I don't think it was... I think he did the wrong thing. And I think the problem now is his reaction in the past week or so is he's blaming the media for it. The way he's reacted in media conferences, the way he's spoken to media, you can see he's got a little chip on his shoulder now, and he's almost blaming. The sense is he's blaming the media. I don't talk to him. I haven't spoken to him in 8-9 months. I wrote a column, Buzz.
Yeah.
And it was a column. It was mainly about Newcastle, and it had 2 lines in it, which said there are whispers out of the Roosters that some players are off the coach and some players are off each other, and he didn't like that. But what that then became an issue about whether he'd lost the dressing room. I didn't make an issue. I never said he lost the dressing room.
You did. You just wrote it.
I said some players. That could be one. It's not the entire dressing room. But then it became a discussion point on other websites and on television shows. And I texted him.
So it's not your fault you're blaming these other websites.
I reached out to him in August, September. Sent him a text saying, mate, in hindsight, probably shouldn't have written it. If you want to have it, I tried to ring him, he didn't answer. Sent him a text saying, mate, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have written it. I apologise for it. If you want to have a chat, give me a call back. Right, I tried to call him. Haven't heard from him since.
Really?
No, we don't even look at each other anymore.
So when I do,
I know he's spoken to other journalists.
Well, we did it last year.
I know he's spoken.
Tell me about your feud.
Can I just quickly? Can I finish? I know he's spoken to other journalists about the issue we've had. He's basically said there's no way back. So,
Michael,
done and dusted.
You dealt with Jerome Luai last week and last year.
You're back on though.
No, there's no issue, yeah.
Do you have a coach you can't ring?
That I can't
Now,
ring?
this is good podcast content.
I don't think there might be some coaches that don't want me to ring, but no, I don't think so.
Who would that be?
Not sure.
Surely you've upset someone.
I'm sure I have, but I haven't dealt with them if I have.
Really?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone.
So you're not off with anyone?
I'm sure I am.
Yeah.
I'm sure I am. I just don't know it, or I haven't tried to speak to him lately. I actually really like Trent. I'm really like
I like him too.
I'm going to ask you one more question. Yeah. Philip Ronald Gould. Can you ring him and have a conversation?
I generally text.
Are you blocked on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm blocked on Twitter. Yeah.
Everyone's blocked on Twitter.
I'm blocked on Twitter.
Can I just clarify? I like Robbo too, and I've got no issue with him.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've written. It was the first time I've ever been. It was the first time. Can I say it's the first time I've ever been critical of him in any way?
I think we did
over 10 years.
Last year, didn't we? Write 10 years.
We wrote he's the greatest coach in Roosters history.
He doesn't rate
two lines. He wiped me.
I've got advice for you. There's 16 other NRL
2 lines and he wiped me.
Go and talk to them.
2 lines.
Yeah.
That shows you how good our relationship was. That shows you how highly he thought of our relationship. He wiped me after 2 lines.
I back Robbo.
How are you and Robbo at the moment?
Please.
I haven't tried.
You've been ripping and tearing him for a week, 2 weeks.
Not him personally, until he had that silly press conference and upset a colleague of mine who was there, and I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Pamela Wade.
Pamela, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't.
Anyway, he's a good coach. He'll be right.
Won 3 titles.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
All right.
Good cattle too, Reedy.
Very good cattle. They should
come on, don't lose your potty.
We've had, obviously we talked about James Fisher-Harris, but there's been lots of other player movements this week. Just a quick reaction to these ones. James Schiller from the Raiders to Newcastle next season.
It's been going good for Canberra. Handy signing.
Can play.
Yeah, they need a bit of speed desperately.
When does that happen next year?
Actually, I heard someone got asked the other day about who's the quickest bloke at Canberra, and he was in the mix.
Well, they're desperate for speed, Newcastle. Outside
Sebastian
of
Chris would kill him.
No, Xavier Savage was the
Savage is the fastest.
The flyer.
Oh, okay.
Savage is Savage would be.
Man.
Yeah,
he's
everything I've said today, you've shot down.
Well, don't get it wrong. Savage is one of the fastest in the game.
You two are bullies.
HR. All right, Buzz. New Brown. For the Dragons for the rest of the year with an option in the Dragons' favour.
Handy backup player. Where was he last? Newcastle, then England.
Yeah, he's in Hull FC.
Handy. Their hooker's going well, isn't he?
I think it's a good signing because there's no depth in that position. They've got Jacob Little, Kyle Flanagan and Ben Hunt. Outside of that, it drops off significantly. Marshke's trying his best, having made his debut, but I don't know if he's cut out for week-to-week NRL.
Just pulling you up, who did you guys say was the most improved footy played this year?
I said Wade Egan over the last 24, 48 months.
Can I say if we're doing a top 10 improved, I'd throw Kyle Flanagan in?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
yep.
Up high.
Been very good, yeah.
What about Zach Lomax? He'd almost be 1.
Yeah.
That's not a bad list for you to do, Buzz, for Monday Buzz at some point.
Monday Buzz. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? I'll do additional reporting. Michael Carayannis and Brent Reed.
Reed, you've been on this one. Jack Jet looks like he'll finally land at Brisbane at some point in the next couple of weeks.
He wanted to move back to South East Queensland for compassionate reasons. Broncos were looking for an experienced forward, and Jack will be going there by the looks of it. So.
With Harrison Edwards moving from Canterbury to North Queensland.
So they can turn over a play, the old doggies. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, they can.
All right, questions on the Dogs, Buzz.
Dogs, yep.
Listener questions from Chris. If the Dogs played Sexton, would they have beaten South and Melbourne? Seems we're only missing a half-decent halfback to get points. Why do you think Cameron Ciraldo persists with Drew Hutchinson?
He persists and started the year with Drew Hutchison because he was the best trainer at the club and won everything over the off-season. That's what he announced. But super fit people, just because you're super fit, doesn't mean you can run a NRL side against. But in Ciraldo's defence, they've played a lot better. They're 15th, but they've played a lot better.
Played a lot better, yeah.
But I think that's a very good question.
I don't think they win with Toby Sexton.
I think it's much for muchness.
I don't think they win with Toby Sexton.
Toby Sexton,
he's not much quicker than Drew Hutchinson.
I don't think he's
quicker, but he's a more experienced half.
Who?
Than Drew Hutchinson?
Sexton.
No, he's not.
He has.
Hutchinson's been around forever.
No,
not as a half.
Yeah, he
was a 14, mate.
No, he's a half, Buzz.
Oh, gang up again.
No, he made his debut with the Dragons like 6 years ago or something.
The Dogs are a funny side because the way Cherry played the other day, Addo-Carr on the wing, and Tickow's the player of the year after 5 rounds. Crichton, Burton, Good footy side, but mate, they need a half and a front rower.
Yeah, well, they know that.
They know that.
Yeah.
Blood Sky, just returned from New Zealand. Could you do your show from New Zealand? Maybe a live show?
Wow, I like this.
What could NRL, Australian clubs, New South Wales, Aussie fans, Aussie media do to help grow the game in New Zealand more?
It's a really, really good question. We underestimate our reach, not just on this podcast, but on NRL 360. I got a lovely email from a family in New Zealand yesterday who were coming across to watch South play, and Blake Solly's helping them out and looking at. I forwarded their email, but just lovely, lovely people. But they all listen to this podcast. It's very popular. You know the Mad Butcher?
Yeah.
Loves it.
Does he?
Okay. I've got an easier solution to this. Put another team over there. Put a team in Christchurch.
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
you do the podcast, so Reedy will
No,
fly
I'm
over to a
saying in
podcast
terms of helping the game in New Zealand.
Well, they will put one in New
Okay.
Zealand at some point.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
I'd say.
Because they deserve
I
it.
won't tour with you again.
What's that?
Last day of our last tour, you got me home at 5 in the morning.
You had a good night though, Buzz.
Best night ever.
Apart from when
Best night
apart from when you
ever.
were trying to stink with blokes.
I did not.
But if anyone wants to sponsor us to fly over to New Zealand and do the podcast from there, I'm in.
I like this bloke's name. Can
Maybe
you
Mark
pronounce that?
Robinson.
How would you pronounce it?
Mr. Snurb.
Snoop?
Snurb.
Watching a few games over the weekend and over the past weeks, I've noticed that hardly any of the players are playing the ball with their feet. What round do you think the annual play the ball penalty-a-thon will occur?
Remember years ago, I did a tweet and I said rugby league is now a shit game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Todd Greenberg got all the players into NRL, taught the game up. That was a play the ball crackdown. That was a play the ball crackdown.
It won't be.
And I never ever want to see one. I'm happy Bloodsky, is that his name?
Nah.
It's Mr. Snurb.
Mr. Snurb. I'm happy with...
Yeah.
We don't need any crackdowns on play the balls.
No, I'm with
As
you.
long as it doesn't get too out of hand.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
100%.
pull up the blatant ones, otherwise...
Oh,
We
hold on.
agree on something.
Here's a
Some
question.
emails.
This is a good one.
Right,
We've been going 40 minutes and we've finally found something to agree on.
got some emails
Go
from
ahead,
Adam
please.
from Warrington.
Yep.
Guys, I'm a huge follower of rugby league, but I'm really struggling to understand how Gus Gould is able to hold such a senior position at the Doggies whilst holding such a dominant position in media. I don't remember seeing any other GMs make so many throwaway lines on other clubs and players in the media. Honestly, I don't see how it's not a conflict of interest. You wouldn't see Nick Politis or Frank Panisi in this position. This is one for Buzz on the podcast. I know they're best of friends.
Greg Alexander's the director at Penrith, a very senior position, and on the payroll there too to host functions and kicking coaches.
Cooper Cronk.
Cooper Cronk. Is he still coaching halves in Melbourne?
Mick Ennis.
Michael
Coaching
Ennis.
staff at Manly.
Yeah, Andrew Johns did Newcastle, did the Roosters. Billy
Yep.
Slater does. Look, there's a stack of... None of them go as heavy as Gus in their criticism of the NRL.
Yeah.
I think he's toned it down this year, though.
That would be my only point, right?
Yeah.
Is that if one of the other people came out and did an interview with us and said some of the things that Gus
They'd be
had said,
fined.
they'd be fined. That would be my only...
I think he's toned it down since the NRL or Canterbury had a word to the NRL. The NRL had a word to Canterbury
You
about
can't
what he was
tone
saying.
Gus down.
Well,
Gus, you
yeah, I
can't.
don't know.
Nothing's made back page headlines.
There is
recently.
no volume switch with Gus. Gus is his own man.
Well, he's been on
If Gus
best behaviour
cracks
so
the
far this
shit-
year.
We must be
It
happy
just-
with the game because he hasn't really bagged it that much.
It's hard to bag.
Yeah.
The
Well,
moment.
he's found a way in the past.
Yeah.
Adam,
Flying, mate. The game is flying.
Adam, unfortunately, we couldn't bait Buzz there, but this
Yeah.
is from Andrew. I think Andrew's from Windus in the UK.
Going to have
Oh,
a
another
piece of
one.
Nicorette while you're
Gone global. Gone
I
global.
really think this was sent during the South.
They got the camera on me having Nicorette.
Well, is that appropriate? Andrew,
wow.
I really think
Better than smoking, mate.
South Sydney might be better off with Latrell Mitchell. On his day, he's the best player in the NRL. He can do things no one else can. I'd like to see him turn it around and win a grand final, but it's looking less likely. A massive rebuild is needed. They need to replace Cody Walker, Damien Cook, and grab some monster forwards.
No, they
Love
don't.
watching you all try to wind up Buzz every week. Andy from Windus.
Jai Gray fullback, Latrell in the centres. He'll recapture his form. South will lose the next 2 weeks, but they'll finish the season a respectful 9th or 10th.
9th or 10th would be quite the turnaround.
Yeah.
9th or 10th.
Well,
From where they are.
Where they
they're
are
last.
now, yeah.
Mm.
Who'd
Can I ask you this, Buzz? You say leave him in the centres, Jai Gray at fullback. What happens when Campbell Graham comes back?
They play one each side.
Where's Jack White go?
I know. I think you mentioned this.
Forward,
You mentioned this on 360. It's still
5'8", half.
I think it's still far enough away that you don't have to worry about it yet, and just see what transforms.
Mitchell is not a fullback.
Well, I think he is. I think he's their best fullback. I think he's a better fullback than Jai Gray. Jai Gray's a half.
I named 12 fullbacks in my column the other day. And the 12 only just made the top 12.
Okay.
That doesn't mean he's not the best fullback at South as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Did you have any fullback at South?
Is he as good as Tedesco? Is he as good as Manu? Is he as good as Nickel Clockstad? Is he as good as Gutherson?
He's as good as Nickel Clockstad. He's as good as Gutherson. I know you love Gutho. He's as good as Gutherson. Well, I think he is. Keep going. Keep going.
Dylan Edwards.
No.
Tom Trebojevic. Reece Walsh.
No.
Callan Ponga.
Nope.
Scott Drinkwater.
On form, he's behind all those guys. On
That's
form,
what I'm talking about.
That's not the point. That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
At the moment, his position, best position,
yes,
is centre.
at the moment, he'll come back in the centres.
See, I'm brave. I'm going to say to you, you're a gibber.
No, it's not what he says.
Does he?
Are you all right, Reed?
He said you're all right, yeah.
Are you all right, Reed?
Have you lost it?
Yeah. Are you all right? Yeah.
I'm saying, when he comes back, yes, come back in the centres. But once he finds his form, when Campbell Graham comes back, he goes back to fullback.
I agree. In a perfect scenario, if he's back to his best, then the best thing for South is him at fullback.
Thank you.
Right now, I'd be playing him at centre.
Yes, I agree.
And I'm not worried about Campbell Graham yet because it's still.
I'm just saying down the track. You and I are on the same. We're on the same page.
Dally Centre of the Year. Even when Wayne Bennett was there, I argued that he's a centre three-quarter because he does not have the mileage in his legs to cover the territory that fullbacks have.
He's a different fullback to the others. Are you now saying you're a better judge than Wayne Bennett? Is that what you're claiming?
I'm just saying that I've said all along. Move on, please, Michael, because I have to get home.
While we're on, you need a nap bus. While we're on South.
Wow. Wow.
Don't be a smart ass. You're the one who needs a nap. 2 kids under 20 months.
No, I do need a nap.
We had a nice little chat.
Should we show those messages?
No, we can't, because they were inappropriate from him.
What did I do?
Our little group chat that we had going on the other night.
What was that about? I can't remember.
About Michael having 2 kids under 20.
Oh, yeah, of course.
20 months.
20 months.
Yeah. Well, they're both, you're right too.
Hello, contraception. What's doing?
Jacob, while we're on South, Jacob, with the South forwards taking a huge dive and Tom Burgess leaving next year as well, what signing would turn it around? Moving Arrow to prop and signing an edge such as Crichton or Garner or maybe Des Hasler, or do we keep Arrow on an edge and bring a Nelson type to the club? I much prefer Jai Arrow in the middle of the field.
Okay.
I will say Tom Burgess's performance in the middle there was as good as any front row I've seen this year against Cronulla. He was just outstanding. It was long overdue, but they don't have the middles. They're like Canterbury.
Yeah,
they are like Canterbury. Yeah. They said they've got halves.
They're a couple of middle short.
And Jack White, as a competitor, has been a great signing for them. Yes. But as you said, when Campbell Graham comes back, and they're centres.
Oh, I said that.
Personally, I would have gone harder for Fanua Blake ahead of Jack.
Yes. There were people at the club who wanted to chase Fanua Blake.
Yeah. Who's that, your art dealer, mate?
I haven't spoken to the art dealer.
Stephen Nasteski.
That's the other one that's all over the art dealer.
Yeah.
You revealed him as the man that...
He wanted a winger when you need middles. Wanted Tom Young.
It's got a lot of sway there. What's he doing?
Stephen Nasteski. Yeah. The art dealer. Oh, I don't know what he's doing.
They do need some medals next year.
Why do you ask me all these questions?
You're the one that had him in the
Pick up the phone, what most journalists do, ring Blake Solly and say, Blake, he'll tell you.
They're hoping Davey Mawali comes through.
Well, Tavita Totola 2 years ago, I thought was on the brink of becoming the best prop in the game, but he's had injuries and he hasn't kicked.
Kepi hasn't been a great signing. I think Sean Kepi struggled. Don't get me started, please.
I ran into Sean Kepi's mum the other day.
How do you know his mum?
Well, we just ran into it. She was working somewhere.
But we're
having a conversation, and they live not far from me. So
do you know her?
No, I don't know her. She was serving me.
Oh, and she said, "Hey, are you Michael?"
No, that's not what happened. We're having a conversation.
What brand's that shirt?
I don't know.
What I'm saying is, how did the conversation start?
It's inappropriate. Mike from Townsville.
Anyway, Sean Kepi's Republic. I'm not bagging Sean Kepi.
You've been bagging him for 2 years.
I'm just saying, I had my concerns that he would be the signing they'd hope he'd be.
Every time, this is Mike from Townsville, every time I listen to some of you blokes rave about a PNG team based in Cairns, I find myself screaming at my phone, wondering why not one journo has bothered to ask the Cowboys how they'd feel about it. The Cowboys' footprint takes up the entirety of North Queensland.
Can you ring Jeff Ribble?
They're not. I know the answer to this.
They're not happy.
They don't want it.
No,
they're not happy about it.
They're not happy at all, Mike.
Not happy.
Can you publish that?
Well, we probably could at some point. I've left it to Peter Bedell and Travis Main.
That's probably
their domain, isn't it?
But I'm getting the sense now that the PNG team will be based in PNG.
Good luck, Simon.
I know Peter V'landys said that publicly, didn't he? He'd prefer it was based in PNG. I just don't know.
I think it's happening.
Not even Wayne Bennett could
How are you going to get players to go there? Can you tell me, please?
Tax free, baby.
Right. They've still got to
live there.
Pack up and live there with their families.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how that happens, Michael?
Can't.
Can you explain to the viewers, your camera, how that happens?
Nope. What game are we looking forward to tonight? Oh, this week.
What's the draw?
I am looking forward, and I will be there, 4:05, PointsBet Stadium, Sharks Cowboys. I want to know if we're the real deal, because the Cowboys are coming back off the rebound. Cronulla have a soft draw. They've been leading the comp. It's our first big test. I'm hanging out for it. Reedy, are you going to be on the sideline?
I will be.
If you are, wave to me.
I will.
You know where my seats are.
I always see you up there.
Yep.
I'm at the Bulldogs Newcastle sideline for that game.
Yeah.
I got the big game.
I don't have weekend radio employees.
Okay, I'm looking forward to Brisbane Canberra.
Yeah?
Yeah. Canberra have been pretty good this year. I reckon the Bronx were pretty good last week.
You're still tipping them to run last and bagging Ricky, are you?
I never tipped them to come last.
What did you bag Ricky, my first podcast?
I said, I'm still not sure if they're the real deal.
Do you want me to get the tape out?
We'll find out, won't we? I think this will be an indication.
Mate, you bagged Ricky
I said bottom four side.
Bottom forward? Well, you're wrong.
Well, at the moment, I am. At the moment. I'm looking forward to Roosters and Storm.
You're bottom four in the radio ratings.
Well, there's only four of us.
That's a big game.
Nelson and Sofa Solomona, really intriguing
to
see.
A lot of people are tipping the Roosters. You know, Melbourne will run their eight of their past 9 against the Roosters, Melbourne.
Yeah, wow.
Craig Bellamy's got Robbo's number the last 9.
You're very tight with Melbourne, aren't you? They're one of your clubs.
No.
You are.
How do you know? I like Melbourne. I think they're a great club. I think
you give them very favourable treatment.
I like Melbourne. I like the club. I think they're a well-run club. Frankie Panissi's one of the best in business. Love that guy.
One of the best.
Yeah, he's the best. Full stop, new pub.
Dinner.
Buzzy?
Dinner.
No, I'm going to throw to Brent to it.
You don't get to throw.
Oh, right. Dinner.
Well, actually, on my way home, I'm going shopping for an air fryer. I'm going to buy an air fryer on the way home.
During your lunch break, I hope.
On the way home.
Good guys?
I don't know. I'm thinking about going to Myer because you get Myer points.
Do we have any air fryer sponsors?
I'd love if someone could get on social media and give me some direction about the best air fryer to buy. That would help me immensely.
Maybe you should buy it tomorrow then.
Well, when's the pod? What time's the pod go up?
Well, I don't think it's going to correlate with what you need to do.
Anyway, if you're out there and you're listening,
why do you want
an air fryer,
mate?
Because
he wants to cook some salmon, Buzz.
No, I'm not cooking salmon on the air fryer. I'd never do salmon on the air fryer. But I'm thinking tonight we might have seafood, and I might buy whole fish.
I'm so confused. So you're going to buy an air fryer,
but I'm not going to cook it tonight. No, well, no, I will. Sorry, with seafood we'll have chips. I'll cook the chips in.
Maybe just wait.
Or wedges. You think what?
I'm getting Chinese.
Chinese?
Yeah, I'm going to get some satay chicken and cashews, sizzling fillet steak, Chinese fried rice, and the prawn wontons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you tried anything other than China? Is that all you get for takeaway?
I'm a jungle chicken. It's not
Asian food. You buy anything aside from Asian food?
I love Asian
food. Pizza or...
I have another, before you start, someone told me you were scabbing around the Olympic launch yesterday, trying to get yourself some free clothes.
Pair of Dunlop volleys, yeah.
How'd you go?
Will you declare them?
What do you mean declare them?
A journalist can't take gifts.
No, I haven't got a gift yet.
Oh, right.
Otherwise you would.
Otherwise I'd tell the world.
Someone told me, and I've done a spot in my
Is this John O'Moran?
No.
John O'Moran was responsible for trying to sort...
Are you doing a spot on Brady?
I think John O got offered a pair of shoes.
Don't you go out
I don't want them,
but... All right.
I do have some at home.
Oh,
hold on.
Shoes. Last time we went to Vegas, you bought a pair of Nikes.
I did. I still got them too.
Awesome.
What do you have?
I bought one pair this time.
Chicken.
No, there's some sort of beef thing in the slow cooker.
Some sort of beef thing.
I've messaged Clara.
How disrespectful.
She hasn't got back to me yet. So
I've got some advice for Clara. If she is doing a slow cooked beef, tell her not to go easy on the red wine.
On the red wine. She doesn't go easy on the red wine, don't worry. She hasn't drunk for like 2 years.
I enjoy red wine with her.
Yeah. I don't drink red.
I don't really drink wine.
I'm not asking
within the...
Put it in the casserole.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. All right.
This has been fun.
Catch you all next week. I'm not sure who'll be here with me, but hopefully I'm here.